Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela. And I got busy earlier. I was going to do this other VR. Did a couple other videos today. So I'm going to do this one. It's a VR2 Tapestry of the Unseen. Hashtag Haunted Decks tag. There's 7 prompts. I have 7 decks. I watched Krista Chronicles. I have not watched Tapestry of the Unseen's channel. There's some like coming in here. But I decided to go ahead real quick and do this other VR. So, it's 7 prompts here. The number 1 is Witch's Brew. What's your go-to deck for brewing up some magic and mystery in your readings? And these are literally decks, just the first thing that popped in my head. This is the Witch's Wisdom Tarot. I haven't got it out in a while, but with the bag and the rope for the string and the box and the book, it's very witchy to me. I did edge it in this blue to match the backs. It's a huge oracle size deck. This is a Hay House deck. And I really haven't used it, and I don't know if I like the cardstock. It's very cardboardy, very thick. That's beautiful. I haven't pulled it out in quite some time. But when I think of witchy potions, brews, spells, this is the deck I think of for some reason. And I just thought of a deck that would pair with this that I never used either. So maybe paired together, they would work great together. And as I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, I need to get this out. It's stunning. Stunning, stunning deck. And this reminds me of Ancestors, the Council of Beings. You could probably use this for ancestor work. I really haven't dabbled with it enough to know if that's what it would be good for. Look at that cauldron there. Interesting. The moon. I think this deck intimidated me because the majors are in reverse, so the Fool is the last card instead of the first card, and that threw me off. But I think I need to get over that. But that is a beautiful deck. A beautiful book that comes with. Oh. And I just dropped it a while ago. I think I split it right there. Anyway, that's deck 1. So the second prompt is the Ghost deck. Which deck haunts your collection but rarely gets used? And this is a deck that I had to have. I saw it years ago on Lisa Pepez's channel. And I needed it. I desperately needed it. And I voiced out loud. This is the first deck I voiced out loud that I needed with every fiber of my being. I needed this deck. And all of a sudden it was available on a second printing on Kickstarter. And it was my first Kickstarter ever. And that is the 5-cent tarot. This is the second edition. It's a yellow box. I have lavender edges on mine and lavender backs. It's a linen finish on this deck. Very easy to shuffle. There's, I think, 4 extra cards. It haunts my collection because it's the deck I needed. With every fiber of my being, I wanted this deck. Had to have it. Because it has keywords on the top, the reversed and the upright meaning. And I'd never seen anything like this deck. And I had to have this deck. Had to have it. And then I never use it. And so for that, it's the deck that haunts me because it knows I want to use it. I just never reach for it. Don't know why. I just don't. I have way more decks now than I did when I first got this, so that could be part of the issue. But even when I got it, I set it aside, and I was like, oh, I'm waiting for the Oracle, because there was an Oracle deck that came out to go with this. I hate the Oracle. Bought the Oracle, never used the Oracle. And I think for that reason, I love this here. For that reason, I think I never used the deck, but I love this deck. I just don't like the Oracle deck. But I don't have anything that would go with this. And I do a lot of pairings with, I love this tower. I do a lot of pairings with, why is my Hermit upside down? Interesting. Soul searching, isolation, self-discovery. I just love it. I just never reach for it. And I don't offhand know why. I never reach for it. That was upside down too. I love it though. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. If you guys know why I don't use it, let me know. Because I don't. And I actually got the first edition bag. Because I like the green. With it. And then it broke. And then Madame Clara sent me another bag. I haven't used it. At all. So that was deck 2. Deck 3, Full Moon Madness. Which deck drives you wild with excitement when reading under the moonlight? And I rarely read decks under the moonlight, but one of the 2 decks ever that makes me think, oh, this is the deck I need to pull out for a moon work, shadow work, darkness. It's the Tarot of the Hidden Realm. This is a Llewellyn deck. It is by Julie Jeffrey and Barbara Moore. The artwork is by Julie Jeffrey. I also have her Witches. I love the book that comes with this. I also have the Sister Witch Tarot, which I love. Both decks. This deck often comes out around November, which also makes me think of doing moon stuff with the moon. I don't know. But I did multi-edge it. I love the edging. It came out great. There's the backs. Eight of Swords. I love it. I adore this deck. 2 pieces. I use the crap out of it for multiple things. I also used it for writing, different writing prompts. And I love that. I don't know why. Because I think there's just enough spring and summer and fall and winter things in this deck. But I only get it out around like November, December. For some reason. It feels like that witchy shadow work deck that you get out. There's my kitty. That you get. He's right up on the camera. That you get out. Right, look at that. For like pagan holidays or witchy things, druid things, all those things. It's to me that Mother Earth, earthy, bang at the moon kind of feel, if that makes any sense. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but hopefully you guys get my drift. But that's what it feels like. This deck. And of course, for some reason I'm only being at the moon in November and December. Anyway, moving on to deck number 4, Skeleton Key. Which deck unlocked a deeper understanding of tarot for you? And that will always be the deck I finally connected with. The deck that basically I learned tarot on is the Tarot Illuminati by Eric C. Dunn. This is a Lo Scarabeo, wherever it is. Lo Scarabeo deck. This is a huge magnetic 2-part box, unlike most of their decks. It has a huge huge, amazing guidebook with it. This is the deck I learned on. This is the deck that I edged it in like a paint marker too. It was horrible. Horrible. Still feels amazing. It's a thicker, nice cardstock. Nine of Swords right on top. Wow. A lot of people say this deck is garish. I thought it was gorgeous. A Chariot. I love this Eight of Swords here. I actually have this printed off and at work on, that don't go on there. Printed off at work, this Eight of Swords. It's beautiful. This is a deck I finally was able to start connecting the dots on different decks, or on different cards with Five of Wands. All the greatest hits are coming up for me. The Alchemist. I pulled the Three of Swords. And love the Hermit. Pulled the Three of Swords out of this deck, and all of a sudden I could see the storm moving in the background. I was hearing things. I was seeing things. It changed how I saw tarot completely. Because before I was about to give up on trying to learn tarot. And then the Three of Swords jumped out of this deck, and it said, throw the book down. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? And I'm like, oh my God. And it was a whole new concept for me. And so for that, this will always be that deck that transitioned me from a non-tarot believer into a, oh my God, I can do this. Because I wasn't even sure I was believing in tarot at that moment. And I just hit the camera. Until this deck came along. And it transformed my way of thinking on tarot completely. So that is the Tarot Illuminati. And that was for the number 4 skeleton key. So number 5 is the Trickster. Which deck has surprised you the most with its tricky or unexpected readings? And that is going to be the Rosebud Tarot. This is a now mass market Wiser Books production. It was an indie deck. This is the mass market version. And OMG, I talked about this deck a lot last year. Pretty sure I got it last year. I've edged it in pink. Light pink to match the backs. I bought this because I was curious. And it's almost like the second I pulled this deck out and started using it, my mediumship level went to the next level. I mean, it was crazy. I started reading for my sister-in-law, and every time I would do a reading with this deck for anybody in the family, it was so dead on. They were like, how do you know these things? And I'm like, I have no idea. I have no idea. The cards know, though. So, despite its kitschy looking little, what do you call it? Collage-y stuff that's in it. This is a, like this, I could have just said a tin of air at the bottom without the scissors. Like, interesting. This deck is marvelous. And it shocked me how accurate it always, like every time I pull this out, there's a reason why I'm pulling it out. And every time it shocks me. To my core, shocks me. And I'm like, okay, I'm humbled by you. And it's a beautiful deck. I love it to pieces. It's rare. It's one of the rare decks I've had that just, I bought it out of curiosity and then quickly realized I don't ever buy decks on a whim. Obviously, there's a reason why. I love that 3 of water. And then I've talked about this 5 of water in a mediumship reading I had. But that is the Rosebud Tarot. One of the biggest shockers ever. This deck. So that was number, what, 5? Got 2 left. Number 6. Black Cat's Curiosity. What's the spookiest or strangest reading you've done with a tarot deck? And I've talked about this a lot. This is the Tarot of the Secret Forest. It's a low Scarabeo deck. It's got, the top is gone. I've used the crap out of this deck. It is the first deck I ever bought for shadow work. I've edged it in black. The backs are black and white, and then the fronts are colored. I've talked about this deck probably more than 99% of the decks I have in my collection, simply because the Six of Swords. When I first realized I can connect tarot and mediumship, I had a vision, clairvoyant vision of a missing person. And then when I pulled a directional spread from this deck, the Six of Swords popped out, and it scared me so bad, which is right here, because it was the exact image I'd seen in my vision of this man that had already gone missing. And I had seen a boat tied up to a specific alcove right off here. And this was, instead of the black here, this was all one winding river. But this looked almost identical to my vision I'd had, clairvoyantly. And it freaked me out so bad that I put this deck away and didn't touch any deck for like 6 months afterward. Part of it was because I was so accurate. I knew where they, someone had contacted me on Facebook and said, hey, can you glean any information for my uncle? He's missing. And I immediately had a clairvoyant vision of this man. He had a red hat on, and the hat told me where he was in the vicinity of where he was. And every time I talk about him, I get choked up like I'm drowning. He had his boat, him and his boat went missing. And I saw that, and it was just crazy because I knew just from the little vision I'd had that I knew that he was in Louisiana. I knew somewhere in New Orleans is where he was last seen with his boat. I knew that he was from Baton Rouge. I knew his name. I knew where the boat was last seen exactly, and like certain section of this housing area. And I had relayed all of this, and she confirmed all of it. And then she started asking me other questions, like, almost like she was involved with his disappearance and was trying to get reactions from people to see if people would pick up on what she already knew. And it freaked me out so bad. I put the cards away. I stopped contact with her. I said, that's all I'm getting. And I put this deck away for a long, long time. But that Six of Swords, man, it really nailed home the vision part of my mediumship abilities is true, is real. It really this deck really nailed home that, and it terrified me. So I put it away for a long time. But this is one of my, it was my first shadow work deck ever, and it will always be a mediumship dark. Like, if there's somebody that's been murdered or something, I'm going to pull this deck out. Just because that's how it rolls. It's a dark deck. Anyway, last one I've talked and rambled on and on. Last one is number 7, the Pumpkin Patch Pick. Which tarot deck would you pick to accompany you on a spooky Halloween night of adventure? Your trusty deck for an eerie or mystical Halloween exploration. And I've used this deck for more than just mediumship work, but this is the Ghosts and Spirits Tarot by Lisa Hunt. It's a U.S. Games deck. And the box is falling apart already on me. But yeah, I love the images in this deck. And it's already, to me, kind of, and it shuffles amazing, imbued with, if you will, because every single card is a spirit of a fantastical person, a real person, something. And so it feels like it's already imbued with spirit energy. And so I don't just use this deck for Halloween, but this would be a perfect deck to take to a graveyard and like summon an energy or talk to one of the spirits that are buried there. And yeah, it's a gorgeous, also gorgeous deck too. So beautiful. And it's super soft. I like this US Games older, softer cardstock. But it is stunning. And yeah, this is the deck I would take for that exact thing. Look, there's in a graveyard right there. It almost makes me think of a darker version of Hocus Pocus for some reason. But yeah, this is the Ghost of Spirits Tarot. I love it. I have not got it out at all this year. I'm actually going to leave it out. And probably use it Halloween. If people ask for readings when I go to my family. We always go to my mother-in-law's for a dinner, whatever. Halloween, and watch the little kids trick-or-treat. So we might do that this year. If not, I mean, my kids are all grown. They don't do anything no more. But if we do, and they decide to do that, and somebody's going to ask for a reading, guarantee it. They always do. I'm probably going to use this deck. But that is all of the prompts for hashtag Haunted Decks Tag by Tapestry of the Unseen. And I encourage you guys to go do this tag as well. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, don't hesitate to comment below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification button so you're alerted to any future videos. And y'all have a good night. Bye.